Peace and blessings, lovers. It's Tamara with Goddesses Ascending. I felt compelled. First, peace. Hope everybody had a divine and prosperous day this day. I'm coming to you because part of my relaxation is through reading, a lot of spending quality time with self, and many other things. But this evening, Spirit drawed me to a section in the book called The Science of Mind, which my energy has been feeling all day. So you'll notice on my posts, some quotes from him. Actually, let me say from Spirit, the Divine Spirit. So in this book, I'm currently in a section that I felt drawn to share. So whoever this is supposed to touch, I will do my part and give my energy out. So the part that I'm going to be reading, which has touched me this evening, is the atmosphere of our thinking. I've realized that prayer is truly a thought, and our thoughts are truly a prayer. And within those prayers and within those thoughts is the answer. So this was definitely powerful, so I will continue. The atmosphere of our thinking. We are all immersed in the atmosphere of our own thinking, which is the direct result of all we have ever said, thought, or done. This decides what it is to take place in our lives. Thought attracts what is like itself and repels what is unlike. So you got to keep in mind sometimes, and you can actually keep in mind the majority of the time, that you're constantly thinking, you're constantly having thoughts, you're constantly in prayer. And depending where your vibrational frequency is at, there are people that are going to come and go in your life. It's going to be kind of like a wave. Some are going to be swayed by the wave. Some will stay, reasons, seasons, or lifetimes. And this change within the energy within people is beyond the physical. Remember that everything is spiritual. So as you are, vibing and going through your prayer and your thoughts, so are the people within your cipher. So that's powerful to keep in mind. So, which is why it's so important not to be attached to nothing or no one. Love them, but be not attached to them, if that makes sense. So once again, it says most of the inner processes of our thoughts have been unconscious. But when we understand the law, we learn to consciously embody what we wish and think of this only. And when we are drawn silently towards it, then we are drawn silently toward it. The emphasis on true mental healing is insistently on God, the one mind, the one soul, the one being, ever present and ever available, and on man's ability and right to make himself receptive to this healing presence. A realization of the essential divinity of our own nature and the truth that no evil can live in the presence. No evil can live in the presence. We must unify ourselves with the great whole, the man who dares to fling his thought out into the universe intelligence with the assurance of one who realizes his divine nature and its realization to the universe and dares to claim all there is, will find an ever-creative good hand to aid him. Will find an ever-creative good hand to aid him. You're never lacking. God will honor his request. He has no choice, free will. He's honoring your request right now at this moment. God will honor his request. To the soul that knows its own divinity, all else must gravitate. Let us then enlarge our thought process and dare to think in universal terms. Let us dare to believe that every constructive word is invincible. That which thought has done, thought can undo. Lifelong habits of wrong thinking can be consciously and deliberately neutralized. You have the control. And an entirely new order of mental and emotional reaction established in mind. Merely to abstain from wrong thinking is not enough. There must be active right thinking. We must become actively constructive and happy in our thinking, not merely passively so. New and wholesome ideas of life vitality, and hope must be accepted and incorporated into the substratum of our mental life, so that a more wholesome externalization may manifest in our bodily condition and in our environment. Since we must all begin right where we are, right now, this moment, most of us will be compelled to begin our healing work with a mechanical process. We should take the highest thought we have and attempt to enlarge on this consciousness until it embraces a more vital concept of reality. Consciousness in this sense means an inner embodiment of ideas. If one wishes to demonstrate prosperity, he must first have the consciousness of prosperity. If he wishes health, he must embody the idea of health. This is more than faith. It is the knowledge that we are dealing with law. While a certain consciousness may be mechanically induced, of course, the more spontaneity put into the mechanical word, the more power the word must have. We cannot live a choiceless life. Every day, every moment, every second, there is a choice. If it were not so, we would not be individuals. You listen to that, right? We cannot live a choiceless life. Every day, every moment, every second, there is a choice. If it were not so, we would not be individuals. We have the right to choose what we wish to experience. This is the beauty of life, and what I'm starting to realize is the honey that you taste in this life. You get to choose any experience that you wish. Any. We have the right to choose the kind of companions with whom we wish to associate. The companions that are in our lives, we choose them. We chose them to be companions within our lives. So to try to go and blame the person that is standing in front of you for whatever it is that you're experiencing, you have to stop and humble yourself and be the observer, be not attached, and realize that you chose this individual. Why? Ask the questions, why? We're here to elevate ourselves. We're here to ascend. Ask the questions, why? We have the right to choose what we wish to experience. We have the right to choose the kind of companions with whom we wish to associate, to say in what city and in what type of house we would like to live. We are individuals, and the only way we can be individuals is to be spontaneous. There is no such thing as a mechanistic individuality. It must have the essential elements of spontaneity. There is no spontaneity and no individuality without prerogative. There can be no choice unless there is something from which to choose. Otherwise, the ability to choose would be merely a fantasy. Therefore, there must not only the possibility of choice, but the liability of experiencing that which is chosen. We have the right to choose what we shall induce in mind, the way in which our thoughts are to become manifest. We cannot always see, or should we be disturbed that we do not see the way, because effect is potential in cause. I am Alpha, I am the Omega, and all that comes between cause and effect. Cause and effect are really one, and we have a given cause set in motion. The effect will have to equal the cause. One is the inside of the other, the outside of the same thing. Once again, one is the inside and the other the outside of the same thing. A certain specific intelligent idea in mind will produce a certain specific concrete manifestation equal to itself. That's powerful. Let me read that again. A certain specific intelligent idea in mind will produce a certain specific concrete manifestation equal to itself. It is one. There is nothing separate. Those within your circle, the reality that you've created yourself is you. It's all you. It's equal to what you are. There is one infinite principle, one infinite thought stuff, one infinite creative power, but countless numbers of forms which change as the specific idea behind them changes. You're a magician. You truly are a magician. You create. I'll just continue on with just one more thoughts are things, and then I'll just end it there so I can continue on my study. Health and sickness are largely externalizations of our dominant mental and spiritual states. An emotional shock or a mind filled with thoughts of fear has been known to cause the momentary stoppage or acceleration of the heart. That's deep. That's deep. Health and sickness are largely externalizations of our dominant mental and spiritual states. An emotional shock or mind filled with thoughts of fear has been known to cause the momentary stoppage or acceleration of the heart. Physicians now testify that under emotional stress, particularly anger, the blood leaves the chemical deposit around the joints in the body. Worry, fear, anger, jealousy, and other emotional conditions are mental in their nature, and as such are being recognized as the hidden cause of a large part of all the physical suffering to which the flesh is here. Everything that we experience within the flesh all starts within a thought first. So this is why you need to understand that you are a medicine man, you are a medicine woman, you are a healer, you're your own healer. And you're either making yourself have dis-ease or you're making yourself become whole by your thought process. A normal healthy mind reflects itself in a healthy body, and conversely, an abnormal mental state expresses its corresponding condition in some physical condition. Thoughts are things. Modern psychology affirms that all the thoughts and emotions we have experienced since we came into conscious existence are still present in mind. Where ceaselessly active, they manifest themselves as subjective tendencies that mold the body in health or sickness and determine as well our reactions to all life and experience. We do not maintain that this or that specific dis-ease is always the result of thinking about such a condition, but we do assert that a prolonged disordinate mental state is certain to eventuate in some form of physical ailment. People have died of great grief, broken hearts, they do exist, of outbursts of temper, of deep and continued resentment, of excessive worry, and many other mental states in which there was no specific thought of sickness at all. The point to remember is that all mind activity inevitably tends to create its physical correspondence, so that an unhealthy and morbid mental state projects itself into the physical body. It's going to transform itself to the physical. Thoughts are things. They have the power to objectify themselves. Thought lays hold of causations and forms real substance. The word of man is the law of his life. That's beautiful. The word of man is the law of his life.
So chances are you got a check from Grandma. But with all the
for 1
celebrating,
minute.
who has time to go out and deposit it? Now with the mobile banking app from Bank of America, you can deposit checks securely anytime. Just
thoughts of sickness can make a man sick, and thoughts of health, of perfection, can heal man. Thought is the conscious activity of the one thinking, and works as he directs through law, and this law may be consciously set in motion. This law will work for him to the fullest extent of his belief in and understanding of it. A realization of the presence of God is the most powerful healing agency known to mind of man. Okay, so I'll read one more. And then I promise I'll be done. So, one with God. Until we awake, until the veil is lifted, to the fact that we are one in nature with God, we shall not find the way of life. Until we realize that our own word has the power of life, we will not see clearly. The Bible points out that man has the same power in his own life and in his own world that it claims for God. The Word was with God, and the Word was God, is an often repeated but little understood statement. The promise to man is equally positive. The Word is nigh thee, even in thine own mouth, that thou shouldest know it and do it. If any word has power, it follows that all words have power. It means that every word which we hear, speak, or think has some power to it. Through spiritual discernment, we see that we have within us a power which is greater than anything we shall ever contact. A power that can overcome every obstacle in our experience and set us safe, satisfied, and at peace, healed and prosperous in a new light and a new life. If God be for us, who can be against us? God's creative power of mind is right here. We have as much of this power to use as we believe in and embody. Embrace in this truth and know it. Embody it as it's your truth. The storehouse of nature is filled with infinite good, awaiting the touch of our awakened thought to spring forth into manifestation in our lives. But the awakening must be within our thought. It must be within our prayer. The word that we speak is the law of our lives, and nothing hinders its operation but ourselves. We may use this creative word for whatever purpose we desire, and this word becomes the law unto the thing for which it was spoken. We are given the power to sit in the midst of our lives and direct their activities. There's this picture that I have of this woman who is holding this ball of energy. And this ball of energy for me reflects the mind. It reflects the thought. It reflects the prayer. And once you look at this ball of energy, actually use this candle as the energy, as this force, you put out there and you throw it out into the universe. And the energy that you give it is going to dictate what it is that you're going to receive in return. This is so powerful. So, just so far as we depend upon any condition, past, present, or future, we are creating chaos, but we are then dealing with conditions, effects, and not with causes. Could we but comprehend the fact that there is a power that makes things directly out of itself by simply becoming the thing it makes? Could we but grasp the greatest truth about life and realize that we are dealing with a principle scientifically correct and eternally present, forever eternally present, we could accomplish whatever it is possible for us to conceive. Life externalizes at the level of our thought. I will stop there because if I don't, I will continue to go on, but I just wanted to share that with you. Once again, this is Science of the Mind by Ernest Holmes. Powerful spiritual truth is in here, and I'm thankful and I'm grateful for love, the true understanding of love, which is I. So just wanted to share that with y'all, and I appreciate you listening. Once again, peace and blessings, and until we meet at that other place in some other moment, peace and blessings.